All right, now in this example, we're looking for specific terms. So now I want the x to the 6th term. Well, before we had thought about just taking our x term and then raising it to the 6th power and then working with our exponents from there. But in this case, both of our terms have x's in them. So I'm actually going to write out my expansion. So it's going to be 12 choose r, x squared to the 12 minus r times -4, and I'm going to rewrite this as x minus 1 instead of -4 over x. And that's going to be to the r power. So I want the coefficient of x to the 6th. So if I look only at my x terms, I'm going to have x to the 24 minus r times x to the -r, and I want that to be equal to x to the 6th. So I'm only looking at the x terms. This is going to be 24 minus 2r. Ooh, sorry. Math mistake there. This should have been 24 minus 2r. So 24 minus 2r minus r is 24 minus 3r equals 6. So solving this equation, I know that this has to be 18, so therefore my r is going to be 6. Now it just happens that that's what I was looking for. Once I know this 6, I can come back and plug in. So my coefficient is just going to be 12 choose 6. There's no coefficient value here, so I don't need to worry about that. -4 to the 6th power. So calculating this, I can determine the coefficient. And we'll see how to do this in the calculator. Meanwhile, while we're waiting for that to open, when we think about the constant term, now I want the power of x to be 0. So constant term is x to the 0. So I'm going to take this and say that my x to the 24 minus 3r has to be equal to x to the 0. Therefore, in this situation, r is going to be 8. And I'll have the same thing. 12 choose 8 times -4 to the 8th power. All right, let's go see how to do this in our calculator. So the first one was 12 choose 6, so I'm going to type in my 12, go into my math menu, and I see n choose r down here. So 12 choose 6, and then I'm going to go ahead and calculate my 12 choose 8 since it's there and handy. All right, so I had 12 choose 6 times -4 to the 6th. Of course, a negative raised to an even power is going to be positive, so I'm just going to ignore the -4 for now. So there's my coefficient. That's going to be 3,784,704. And in this case, I'm going to have 495 times 4 raised to the 8th, again ignoring the negative because I'm raising to an even power, and now 32,440,320. So again, because I'm asked only for the coefficient, I could ignore my x's, but I know this is going to be the coefficient of x to the 6th. Over here, again, it's the constant term. If I think about plugging in r to the 8, that means I would have had 12 choose 8 times x squared raised to the 12 minus 8 is 4th power times -4, and we'll go back to thinking about this as -4 over x to the 8th power. So notice, this is going to be x to the 8th over x to the 8th. So my x's are going to cancel. All I'll have left is the constant, which is 12 choose 8 times -4 to the 8th from this bit.